Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio to discuss whatever topics you might like to discuss and whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here for you and with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Fiji Water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And we are with you, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. You can go to RadioFreeNetwork.com/new-life, and every broadcast will be available to you. And for all of our listeners and viewers, as you know, we have a target date to go live with our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. We will be playing music 24 hours a day. There will be segments that will be included, such as 3D. You will also have segments on health and wellness. We'll have segments on mental health and wellness, and also on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So you will be able to tune in 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There will be music that will inspire you, that will empower you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly become every single day of the week. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this as we prepare to go live on Sunday, March 27th, 2022 on WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your spending habits have been out of control since things reopened, or as you said, opened up again. You want to know what can you do to stop the habit of spending that you've developed. So listen, you must be more well, first of all, the simple answer to that is stop spending. You know, it's the rule of holes. When you find yourself in a hole, you stop digging. So that's the simple answer. But what you have to do, you must be more strategic with your money. You have to make certain that your money is on a mission. And one of the things that we constantly are encouraging people to do is to save and invest. Save and invest. Save and invest. Set money aside so that you can make an investment that will appreciate in value over time. You want to make certain that your money is always on a mission. So I'm going to walk all of our listeners and viewers through what it looks like to have your money on a vision. So you've all heard us talk about saving and investing in the stock market, which you know will appreciate over time on an average of about 8% annually. You also know that, we tell you to look at index funds to, maximize your IRA, maximize your Roth IRA, maximize your 401k. We are constantly sharing with you the importance of maximizing your success. So maximizing every component that is available to you. Saving and investing is part of that. And what that looks like for us is, first of all, we have to make certain that we are investing our capital. That's first and foremost, so that we get a return on our investment. And then the second thing that you can do to make sure that you are placing your money on a mission is that whatever you purchase, make certain that it's going to be something that lasts for a long period of time. And what does that look like for you? So when you purchase something, make certain that you get the longest warranty that is possible available by the manufacturer. So you want to make sure that if you purchase something, preferably it comes with a lifetime warranty. If it doesn't come with the lifetime warranty, you want to make certain that it comes with a long-term warranty. So what I mean by that is you want to make certain. I heard an ad, I'll use this as an example, for heating and air conditioning systems. Now we have a couple of zones in our home, so it reminded me of a time I had someone come out to service in our home who wanted to replace one of our systems. And yet we built our home, it'll be 15 years ago this year, this home that we live in currently, 15 years ago. And we had them do some work for us at our previous home, so I called them. And when they came out, they saw an opportunity. They thought, well, we'll just, and I'm not going to mention any names, but we'll just replace one of your systems. And we were like, no, it's not. At the time, it was even less time that had gone by. And yeah, I heard an ad recently, someone, not the same company, but someone advertising a heating and air conditioning system with a 10-year warranty. And I'm saying to myself, that's not a warranty. That's not a system you want to install in your home. You want to get you hope to get at least 20 years out of a heating and air conditioning system. Hopefully, at least 20 years. I mean, if you get 30, then to God be the glory. But you would hope that you would at least get 20 years out of it. And the way that you do that is obviously by having your heating and air conditioning system serviced, by making certain, the simple thing that you can do is change the filters in your system every single month. Now I know they will tell you on high-end filters, so I'm going to kind of let you into our world. So the first day of every month, I change the filters in our home. We buy high-end filters. We also have filters that are reusable. I don't use them any longer. But I spent money initially when we built the home getting some filters that last a lifetime. But what I found is that there is even a higher quality filter that you have to purchase in a pack, and I use them to replace. They come 3 in a pack, but I use them to replace the 2 systems every month, the first day of every month. That's the goal. So we know today is the 2nd, so that means that I've already changed the filters. So having said that, that's the simplest thing you can do to protect your heating and air conditioning system, is to have them replaced every single month. And then in addition to that, you have someone come and look at your system, make sure everything's running properly, and then you move on. This company was advertising a 10-year warranty on the system. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that's not a system I would want to install in my home. I want to get at least 20 years out of it. And if you can find a system that gives you more than that on a warranty, then you go with the longest warranty is what I'm saying. And if you can find something that offers a lifetime warranty, then you're already ahead of the game. It doesn't matter if it's shoes, ballpoint pens, or whatever it is. If you can get a lifetime warranty out of it, then you're already ahead of the game. That's putting your money on a mission, not buying things for immediate gratification that are going to have to be replaced soon because they're not of high quality. So your money always has to be on a mission. And then here's another step. So you can always reduce costs by reducing your entertainment. But even a simple form of making certain your money on a mission is we all have to eat. The question is, are you going to eat at home or are you going to eat out? And you have to decide what of your time is more valuable. Is it more valuable for you to spend time preparing food at home, or is it more valuable for you to spend your time doing something else and just ordering out? And if you're not going to order, because we all have to eat, but if you know that you have time to eat at home, meals being prepared at home, then you want to prepare food at home as opposed to dining out or ordering in. Now, all of us from time to time are going to have to order something from out. First of all, it's good for small businesses. We support the local businesses. And second of all, there's always going to be a time on your calendar when something is going to take up that time in the evening that you might have used preparing food, so you just order something. And that's okay. But your money always has to be on a mission. Your money always has to be on a mission. And we have to be conscious about it. Everything we buy, we have to be intentional about everything we buy from head to toe, from in-home to garage. Everything we have to be conscious about. Because that's how we keep placing our money on a mission. Now, I know there's some lyrics in an old song that said, have your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Well, that's really what it means. Being intentional is having your money on your mind and placing your money on a mission. Being intentional with every dollar that you get a return on every dollar. And hopefully that you maximize the return on every dollar. So I went through some scenarios because I wanted you to understand that everything is constantly moving. And if we don't take the time to examine everything we're doing is costing us money. Whether it's time, because if it's costing you time, it's costing you money. I'm going to give some additional analogies because it brings me to mind, if you are constantly misplacing things, once again, there's a cost value to time. If you're constantly misplacing things and you have to continuously look for them, it's wasting time, which is costing you money. And we have to look at it from that perspective to make certain that we're maximizing our success. But the first thing you've got to do is make certain that you are placing your money on a mission. And then we'll talk about making certain that your time is on a mission, because we want to make certain that we maximize our success, but that we eventually will experience the fullness of God and maximize the fullness of God in all of our lives. So let's do better, because we now know better. Let's make certain that we're more strategic with our money so that we can all experience a better quality of life. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-0000. 1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you feel that you are more observant now than you have ever been in your life. You feel that paying attention to detail is going to allow you to become more successful. And you want to know, how do you maximize that success now that you're more aware? So, I made reference to this on yesterday, and I'm going to use this again today in a different way because every communication is different. But you're onto something here, and what you've got to know is that first and foremost, the fact that you're paying more attention to detail means that you are looking at every aspect and component of every subject matter. And, I alluded to this yesterday. There's an old corporate adage, the devil is in the details. We've got to be very detail oriented so that we can be intentional about every aspect of our lives, both personally and professionally. So think about this. Now that you feel that you're more observant, and I think that's happened for a lot of people during the public health crisis. And the reason is because we were forced to finally slow down. One of the things that I've always said to my family is that there's an old corporate adage that says, in finance, that says poverty comes upon those who rush. When we're moving at a fast pace, what we don't realize is that when you slow your pace down, you're able to see more. If you're driving down the highway at 100 miles an hour and you're not certain where you're going, and inevitably you're going to miss the off-ramp. You're going too fast to be able to see where you're going. We've got to slow down the process so that we can see everything. And as time goes by and we become more observant and we become more aware of the details, we find that we become more efficient, more effective, more efficient, which leads to being more productive. So it enhances our productivity. So that's going to be real important, because when we enhance our productivity, we want to perform at peak performance. So here's what we've got to know. Paying attention to the details is going to make you more successful. But then you have to be intentional about what you implement moving forward. So you'll hear me talk a lot about implementation strategy. What's your strategy for implementing the next steps? What's your strategy for implementing the next step that will take you to the next level? We've got to be conscious and aware of that. We have to make certain that everything we're doing, every step we're taking, leads to the next level. So in the corporate environment, we always had an analogy that we used, and that is that the detail is the next step. The details are the next step. So, I've always used a philosophy that I developed over the years, the methodology: every deal is about the next deal, Well, it's the same thing about the details. When we learn to focus on the details lead to the next step. We don't want to avoid any of the details. And you know, in athletics, we talk about not taking shortcuts. You can't take shortcuts. In corporate environment, we talk about, you know, reading the fine print. You've got to read the fine print of every little detail. You know, you've got to really be able to understand the difference of what's being said, what's being disseminated, and the structure before you sign off on it. So there's a lot of components to maximizing our success. And I realize that most people try to keep it real simple with, you know, specific keys to success. And the reason that they try to keep it real simple is for the same reason that God only gave us 10 commandments written in stone, and that is because he knew we wouldn't get those right and it would be too much for us to remember. So he continued writing commands throughout the Bible. But those 10 that he gave us were the basics for enhancing the quality of our lives, making certain that we had a good quality of life, a good foundation to build life upon. Now, having said that, we have to recognize that there are specific keys to being successful, but we have to implement those details in a way that it's going to allow us to maximize our success. So you feel like you're more observant now. That's one step. You feel like you've been more observant than you've ever been in your life, and that is because the pace has been slowed down for most people. The problem with most people is that they're going to return to what's familiar to them. You know, there's writings about this in the Holy Bible, how when God led the children of Israel out of Egypt, when they got to a point where it got difficult for them, they wanted to go back to Egypt. Egypt was a place where they were clothed, where they were fed, they were, you know, they weren't rained on, but Egypt also punished them. It also tormented them. They were held captive. They were not treated with dignity. And the reality is that just because it was more comfortable than going to the next level, they wanted to go back. And here's what's really interesting. What was promised to them after they went to the next level was a promised land. The next level, a promised land, a place that would flow with milk and honey, where they'd have everything in the land that they could possibly need. But instead of being comfortable, being uncomfortable, they considered going back. What's going to happen for most people as we come out of this public health crisis, and let me rephrase that. We are at the end of this because we've learned to live with it. It's been 2 years this month, 2 years since the first shutdown. Now, obviously, we were aware of COVID, the coronavirus was present. We were aware of it in other countries in January. The reason it's COVID-19 is because people were aware of it in another country in December of 19. By January and February, we had a clear understanding that it was going to spread. And March, 2 years ago, we shut down. Now, everything's reopening. So we are coming to the point now where flu season's almost behind us. We've learned to live with COVID being present in our lives. Now we're ready to start moving forward. And with that, many people are going to return right to the pace that they were on previously as opposed to saying, I've learned something from this experience. And what I've learned is that if I slow down, do less, I'll get more done. Slow down, slow my pace, focus on an implementation strategy that is going to lead to success in my life, both personally and professionally. Unfortunately, many people are going to go right back to what they were doing before this public health crisis occurred. Now, I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't return to a sense of normalcy. I'm just saying that what we really need to do is slow down and now learn something from this that says I can be a better version of myself if I slow my pace down and don't try to get ahead of God and follow in the footsteps that God lays before me. Real simple. Sounds real simple. The question is, are we going to do it? Because there's a lot that God has written in His Word, in the Holy Bible, that really is simple, but we don't follow it. And part of the reason we don't follow it is because we don't read it. If we read it, we can follow some things. And if you follow some things, I'm not saying any of us are perfect, but if we just follow some things that are in the Word of God, we're going to have a better quality of life. A better quality. I'm not talking about just the foundational stuff, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Those are, you should not steal or kill. Yeah, those are going to make sure you have a better quality of life. But there's a lot more there. And what we should want is to experience a better quality of life. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. Shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt attire today. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, tomorrow in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, with us tomorrow, our monthly contributor, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, will be here with us to present a topic to us and discuss our health and wellness. We'll be pulling communications from all of our listeners and viewers who have sent them in over the course of the month, and she will address some of those also. So you want to tune in tomorrow to be with us when Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, will be with us. BeccaTheDietitian.com will be with us right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And of course, you'll be able to see her. If you go to her website, you'll be able to see all of the media that she has done with us right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. You'll be able to see all of the insurances that she accepts at BeccaTheDietitian.com. And you will be able to take away some tips that will help to enhance our health and wellness right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. Tune in live on Facebook, YouTube, and on RadioFreeNetwork.com. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep His face turned towards you, and may God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow. And just make certain that you stay tuned for what's about